Hello everyone, this is a Scholar up to level 50 guide. This is Shadowbringers 5.0. Moving right along from a previous video, we get Aetherflow at level 45. Restores 10% of maximum MP. The additional effect is grants Aetherflow 3 can only be executed while in combat. So previously to this, you can just execute this guy before the fight begins and kind of just have easy Aetherflow. Now you actually have to get into the fight itself before you pop this guy. It is instant cast with 60-second off global cooldown. It lets me just get into combat the most efficient way by smacking the enemy with the book. Once we're in combat, we're going to cast our Aetherflow. Now we have our 3 Aetherflow stacks. At level 45, we also get Lustrate. Restores target's HP to your potency of 600. Now this costs one Aetherflow gauge, one of these little 3 dots that you see down here right before, right next to my sprint on the left side. It's going to cost one of those dots anytime you cast this. It's going to heal the target for 600 potency. This is instant cast with your 1 second off global cooldown. Now this is an ability. The fact that it only has 1 second is you're limited to how many Aetherflows you have left. So you can only do this 3 times in a row, honestly, or at least up until now. At level 46, we get Art of War. Deals magic damage with a potency of 150 to all nearby enemies. It is instant cast with a spell global cooldown. The MP cost is 600, but it's manageable. It used to cost a bit more, but they changed the MP costs quite a bit. Thank God I didn't make my guide then, otherwise I would have to change a few things. But this is what it looks like. So anytime you have more than, I believe, 1 target, just go ahead and spam this guy. Obviously watch your mana bar if you're going to try to spam things like Succor, along with Art of War, and also your Adloquium. Your mana bar will delete quickly. At level 50, we get Sacred Soil. Creates a designated area in which party members will only suffer 90% of all damage inflicted, basically 10% damage reduction. Duration of 15 seconds. You need an Aetherflow charge for this guy. It is instant cast with 30-second global cooldown. Basically the only time, or probably the best time to cast this guy, probably, I'm not an expert on this, just kind of iffy, is basically anytime you see a stack marker, a little area, designated area above a character that has arrows pointing inward. Either that, or just if you can spot a room-wide AoE mechanic that will hit pretty much everybody, go ahead and put this guy down, and if people move inside it, it will take 10% damage reduction. You can pop this guy, and you can also use something like Succor on the rest of your party members to minimize the damage that they take. Now, in terms of the rotation itself, your big heals come from Lustrate. This guy, you're going to be able to use 3 of them back to back to back. So go ahead and pop your Spot Dodge, your Galvanize on the tank. Use your Galvanize on the tank, obviously. And then while the tank is basically rounding up mobs, you're going to do your similar rotation of Swift Cast into 3 dots. You're going to basically afterwards do your Galvanize again on the tank. And now you're going to use your 3 charges of Lustrate plus your Art of War to basically do as much damage as you can on multiple targets while you keep capping the tank's health with Lustrate. And that's basically the rotation. Otherwise, for single target, it's pretty similar to level 30 and 40. Also, another thing that I noticed you guys, or at least most of some other healers or some other scholars that I noticed in dungeons, don't put your Sacred Soil on the ground for the tank. It's only 10% damage reduction. They have better ways, and honestly your Lustrate is more potent healing wise than your Sacred Soil can ever be. Plus, if they don't take damage, it's pretty much negligible, and if they keep moving, this Sacred Soil is pretty useless. So just keep chasing the tank, keep casting your Galvanize on the tank, and keep using that Lustrate along with your Art of War. That's the most efficient way to keep both his health healthy, the tank's health, and also you from, basically doing nothing. And finally, I can't stress this enough, make sure you're near the tank. The pet cannot heal if you're too far away. That's the tank's source of regen, healing over time. Free healing over time. And as always, before the tank takes off, or before they actually engage into fight, put your Adloquium on them. Is my fairy out? Yes. Make sure your fairy is out, guys. Make sure that fairy is out. because that's going to be your source of regen and your source of cooldowns. If they have too many targets, just keep using your Adloquium along with your Lustrate. And if you get the chance, go ahead and use your Art of War, only if you have Lustrate. If you don't, just keep using your Galvanize. Your Adloquium, I should say. There you go. Good stuff. Spot another Adloquium if I could get the chance. No, never mind. Well, we have our Swift Cast. Yeah, some of these tanks are pretty quick. We took damage there. Yeah, it's okay. We look. Spot that Lustrate. Let's put another Adloquium on the tank. Go right back in there. Good stuff. So make sure that you have charges for your Lustrate, because if the tank pulls big, odds are you're going to just spam dots every now and then and just use your Adloquium on a tank. If you don't have charges, just use your Adloquium instead. I'm going to put Adloquium for the tank cluster. Let's do mechanics. Good. Let's put a Succor for the dots on the group. I'm getting sucked in this time. Let me put a Adloquium on the tank. Nope. Not fast enough. Another time to use your Sacred Soil is obviously if you get your Aetherflow and you still have a stack, so let me just pop it down and reuse my Aetherflow here. Other than that, if you have overflow Aetherflow, then go ahead and use your Sacred Soil or your Lustrate. Otherwise, just hold on to it. Scholar is a very pinpoint healing. It's a very efficient healer, but also it's not as potent as White Mage or Astrologian, which I'll show you guys later on. It's more to the point, very precise healing. Ooh, crit. I still have a charge, just in case. I may just put down a Sacred Soil here. Okay, Whispering Dawn. I may put a shield on the rest of my group. Spot Adloquium on the tank. Anytime I say spot, I mean like maintain a shield or keep an eye on, stuff like that. If you guys get confused when I say these words. Spot heal, spot shield. Just keep an eye on someone. As always, we'll see you guys next time for our next guide. I was sweating a bit there, but it worked out. We'll see you guys next time.